Kansas.
Mr. President, thank you. I want to comment on an interview that was published yesterday in quoting the President. In an interview published yesterday, the President spoke about a number of issues facing the United States. And during that interview, he had commentary on terrorism, and he referenced the January attacks in Paris, France, in what I would describe as a very concerning way. The President described the attacks in Paris as, quote, randomly shooting a bunch of folks in a deli. The President's perception of the hostage-taking and murder of 4 Jews in a kosher supermarket, in that way, we ought to all be concerned. When he's asked to clarify the President's comments today, the White House stated that the Jewish victims of this attack were, quote, killed not because of who they were, but because of where they randomly happened to be. The White House today suggested that because there were non-Jews in the kosher supermarket named Super Kosher, the attack did not specifically target Jews. The State Department restated this explanation today, refusing to say that an attack on a kosher supermarket that killed 4 Jews could be anti-Jewish. The absurdity of this logic is apparent. Let me give you a hypothetical. So if an attack occurs on a synagogue, or on a church, or on, say, the American embassy, are we really to accept the idea that it's just a chance that there is diverse people there, that somehow disqualifies the possibility that members of the group who are predominantly frequent that place might be targeted? In other words, if somebody who happens to work in an American embassy but's not an American is killed in an attack, would we reach the conclusion that an attack on our embassy is not an attack on America? The Obama administration's logic here challenges certainly common sense, and it's truly difficult to understand what they're trying to convey. It is also contrary to the open source media reports on this attack. Reuters reported that the perpetrator of this attack had called a French television station to declare his allegiance to the Islamic State and stated his intentions to target Jews. Given this information, the Obama administration's now repeated comments that chalk this up to randomness, that's just amazing to me, that it's just random, this attack in Paris. The fact that 4 Jews were killed at a kosher supermarket, it's just random. It's dangerous for our government leaders to reach such a conclusion, and for us to be operating as we make a determination how to proceed next in the war on terror, to reach the kind of conclusions that the President, his spokespersons, and the State Department are reaching. The Islamic State, the organization that the perpetrators of the Paris attack claimed allegiance to, has made it a point to persecute various ethnic and religious minorities. The denial of anti-minority or anti-Semitic motivations in this case gives me hesitation about whether the President understands the true nature of the threat we now face. This comes in the context of the report that the administration is soon to present to Congress for approval and authorization for the use of military force against Islamic State fighters. Authorizing a war is a decision that should be made with the fullest of information and the most complete understanding possible. The Obama administration should be doing everything it can to clearly describe the threat that our country faces, in fact, that people around the globe face, and the strategy that will be employed under this potential authorization to use force. If we don't know who we're fighting, how can we have a strategy to prevent the death and destruction that those enemies will cause? The stakes are way too high to operate under anything but a clear understanding of the significant challenges that our country faces. It makes no sense to describe something different than reality. Mr. President, I yield the floor.